Come on, let's get this cracking.
Can you picture this? Right there, good looking, baby. See why I got another one. I see y'all. Yeah. Can you picture this? You know, rocking with CYPT. Podcast of the D with Clay and the crew. It's like my CTV. They be giving game out so much, you could take the same route. Especially if you take risks, this YouTube, you make sense.
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? You're listening to the CYPT podcast. It's the podcast of the strongest, fastest, most powerful print shop on this side of the Eastern Seaboard. I'm just Niles. It's your boy Lance behind the camera.
I'm Clay, also known as Fearless. We got two special guests here. We got Howard Patterson and Will Lewis.
What up, though? What up, though?
Of Urban
Entertainment.
Urban
Cineplex Entertainment.
Urban Cineplex Entertainment.
These guys are big-time movie producers in Detroit City.
Yeah, so
and all around.
Thank you guys for being here with us today. Taking time out of your busy evening. Okay, now which one do you put up in the BMW?
Will pulled it.
What's going on?
What's going on, Niles? You all right, my brother?
Yeah, man. Good to have you here with us, sir. So
glad to be here. Thank you for the invite.
No, thank you. So what all do you do in this entertainment, in this business?
Writer, producer, director, editor, pretty much from the beginning all the way to the end.
From start to finish.
Start to finish.
I thought I saw you in one of these movies too.
And I act. Yeah,
too, man. I'm like, man, I seen him in one of these movies. Yeah,
fully involved.
That's the least that I do is the acting, and every blue moon I jump out there. Back in the day, I would be in it a lot, but nowadays it's just a little.
Did you get started with the acting, or you started with the writing and producing?
Started with all of it, actually, writing, producing, acting. Back in the day, I didn't have no money to pay nobody to do it, so I write it, shoot it, and be the main character also.
What are some of the projects?
Called The Life. The first movie I made was The Life, Sex, Drugs, and Violence. Then I made a love story from the streets. I think it was called Dancers Wanted, a love story from the streets. Then we made The Life, Sex, Drugs, and Violence Part 2. And this was all back in the day. Like, when I say back in the day, I mean back in the day. like
love story from the street. That's
20 years ago.
What did you tell me y'all just came out with?
That's the new one.
The new version of his first version.
Yes.
Okay, so y'all redid it.
Redid it all over.
Okay. Speak up in the mic a little bit.
We do. We did it all over again.
Okay. So how did you meet this guy? Like, how did y'all become partners?
We grew up in the same hood.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew Will. From back in the days. Me and his cousin grew up same age. Will was always older than us though. Man, we just vibe connected. Like every time I see him, I'll be like, man, I want to make movies. I'm gonna make me a movie, I already knew what he was doing. But I was like, I want to make movies. And he kept telling me, well, do it, write it. And I was like, all right. We separated and started doing with everybody, our own things. And when I met back up with him again, he was like, basically like, you ready? And I was like, I got a movie idea. And I showed him the script and he was like, let's shoot it.
So did you have structure? Did you study how to write a script, or you just was, I'm just going off the dome and then
I went to Eastern Michigan for it, and then a lot of it I learned just from basically talking with him.
Do you feel that you needed the schooling, or do you feel it was something that if you had just talked to him,
no, I can answer that fast. No,
you didn't need the schooling at all.
It was a waste of money.
Damn.
So you just needed a little bit of structure, and then you was off and running.
Yeah, half of the stuff I learned didn't even come from Eastern.
You see, I hear writing a script is a bit tedious. Is this true, or is it really something that flows organically?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's tedious if you want how well you want your script written.
What do you mean by that?
Like, you could put anything on paper
and call it a script.
And if you're reading it like shit, it's gonna come out like shit. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. So basically, when you get in your writing mode, like where do you go? Do you go to a certain place, or is you like riding in the car thinking of ideas? Like do you go off to like some place and write, or how do you write?
I go to the park. Like I'll sit in the park, or I'll sit in the parking lot. But it take me longer than the average to write. Like I get writer's block. I be iffy. Like I still think about what the people think. Like, hey, what if I write that?
So do you share like ideas? Like, hey man, how does it sound? Or do like who do you share ideas with when you're writing?
I'll talk to him.
Okay.
I'll do.
And whatever. Like
I just gave him a script, and I thought it was all right. I gave it to Will. That script ain't even getting made.
He broke it. He broke it apart. So what is this? Okay.
I would tell you. Let's just say that script. I just feel we're smarter than what he had brought to the table. Right? It's like, bro, we better than this. This was Motor City Living. For sure. Something that we did in 2016.
Right.
You were a part of.
Right.
I was like, we're not doing 2016
You was a what?
no more.
Yeah, you seen Motor City Living.
You an actor?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, we supposed to be talking to you too then.
You an actor.
You an actor too?
Yeah, for sure. Y'all check it out, Motor City Living.
Facts. On Tubi.
Yeah, on Tubi.
Amazon Prime. Google
Prime.
Play.
Google me, boy.
YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah.
What all projects have you, or maybe we have seen that you did?
I'm going to start from the top. Bad Girls 2, a film called Switch, Motor City Living, The Gram, The Life, Sex, Drugs, and Violence, and our latest release is A Love Story from the Streets. That's the latest one. I don't know if I said that already. That's the latest one.
Where can I see all these at?
Tubi, Amazon Prime. Amazon got something called Freevee now. It's sort of like Tubi.
Yeah.
On Freevee. You can also YouTube movies. It's on YouTube. It's on Google Play. What's that other one? It's another one. Not Hulu, but it's another one that's sort of like Hulu.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it right now.
Now, these movies that y'all be doing sometimes hits the theater. Like, how do these movies get to the theater? Like,
Well, we rent the theater out for the premieres.
Okay.
So if it's like, we don't make the movies thinking like MGM gonna buy it, pick it up, and put it in the theaters. We make it knowing we're gonna be the ones distributing it. 9 times out of 10, we're self-distributing. So when we do a premiere, we'll actually rent the theater. So we put our own money up to rent the theater. We get tickets printed up. We got to do all the footwork.
Are you guys straight indie production?
Yes.
Straight every film?
Yes. Every film, yeah.
So how does someone start like that? How does someone start an indie film production? It can't start with the script, but it has to start with something deeper than that, doesn't it?
Not the script. To start an indie film production company is more than a script. It's a lot, man. At first, let's
not say the company to start an indie film.
To make an indie film.
Yeah, to make an indie film.
Well,
what's the start?
The script.
It is the script.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you got to have something to shoot. You know, if it's no script, it's nothing.
I have no idea how the film industry works.
You will start with, hopefully somebody come across a good script, or you write it, or somebody bring it to you, and once you get the script, you'll try to figure out how much you budget. Try to get a budget together to make it, because even just as important as the script is the finances to make it. So even though it's an independent,
just as important.
Yes. They one A1 and A2, for sure. So once you figure out your budget and can actually produce the money, it's about now who are you going to hire to do the work. So the work is more than the cast. The work is who's going to film it, who's going to edit it, who's going to be director.
Now, how do you guys?
Producers.
Now, finding cast members, you find other people that were like in movies that you feel will represent the character that you've created, right?
Right.
But when you're looking for people to hold the camera, the boom mic, set the scenes, how are you finding them?
In the beginning, we did it all. If I was holding the camera, Howard was holding the boom mic. Right. So by doing it so long, all you deal with is basically movie people. Once you get to a point when you're really doing this, all you deal with is movie people. So you'll start meeting other people that's in the industry. And we came across a couple. Like the first time we shot a movie where I wasn't holding the camera, I was introduced to a guy named Johnny Flynn through an actress's manager. So the actress I went through, I was like, yo, man, I'm trying to do this a little different. I ain't trying to hold the camera.
Right.
And he was like, well, I know a guy who could do it. That's pretty good. And he introduced me to a guy named Johnny Flynn. And that was the first time we made a movie where we wasn't doing everything, holding the camera. And I was like, yeah, I like this better. I don't want to hold this camera no more. And that's just the way we've been doing it.
So is it pretty much y'all got your own production team now? So when y'all get ready to shoot a movie, because y'all, like 7 movies in, y'all already got these people in place?
Yes.
Shout out to Blue Clover, too.
Blue Clover, who was that?
Who's Blue Clover?
Who's Blue Clover?
That's the people behind the camera.
Okay.
Rodney and Nate.
Okay.
That's the team you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, that's they do all the video work. Rodney is the director of photography. He's the guy that's actually holding the camera, doing like moving the camera around, setting up a lot of scenes, and his partner Nate is the assistant camera. So together their company is Blue Clover, and in the beginning we hired them to work for us. Now they work with us, okay. Partners. Yeah,
so in the beginning you were pretty much doing you had all these hats, and now it's narrowed down. What specific title do you have now?
For me, I was.
We still carry a lot of hats.
You still carry
100% director. Director, producer. Yeah.
Okay, director, producer, and you. What are you?
Producer,
doing?
executive producer.
Executive producer. So now, sometimes people get confused about producer and executive producer. Can you do a little bit explaining and break that down how it goes?
I'll start with this. Executive producer is the person that puts money up.
Okay,
they bringing the money to the table.
Yeah, because I see when the titles roll up, you see quite a few executive producers, so they just bringing the money to the table.
They all chipped in something,
and the producer himself is putting together the pieces to the whole puzzle.
Yes, yes, and there's other producers like a line producer, where they keep track of the budget, make sure everybody, trying to make sure you don't go over budget. But just producer, it's kind of like the one who finds the director, finds the location scout, or like puts it all together.
Gotcha. Yeah. So are you just shooting movies for like yourself, or say somebody else wanted to shoot a movie? Would y'all like shoot the movie for them? If I had an idea, like, man, I got this movie. Everybody got a movie. I got a movie. Y'all taking on projects.
We gotta
like
sit
that?
down with you, Clay. We might.
Most definitely can make it happen. What we've been doing lately is actually acquiring other people's scripts. So, like, if you wrote a script and it's like, okay, we're interested in it, we can either flat out buy it from you, or you'll become an executive producer of that film. Okay. So like, just say if it's $5,000, like, look, I can give you 5 Gs now. You want the 5 Gs, but it's my script now. It's our script, and we'll make it when we want to, or we'll dedicate a certain time that we'll have it filmed, and just give us the script. It's still ours, but you'll be an executive producer in the making, so you'll still get a cut of whatever it'll make forever, as long as it's making money.
Gotcha.
So since we've been doing that, most people are just saying, okay, they rather come in as executive producer before they could get long-term residuals. And that's still a gamble. It's not 100% that it's going to make money.
As far as like making money and getting the projects on these platforms like Tubi and Amazon Prime and things like that, how do you go about doing something like that? What are the steps, procedures? Do you just, like, who do I call? Like, I got a movie. Hey, Jeff.
No. It's like, you got to have a distributor. First, you got to have a distributor. Let's just say our distributor is called Indie Rights. Okay. They out in California. So you'll give it over to the distributor. You sign the deal. They take 20%, whatever the film make. They getting their 20% off the top. Then they cut you the rest. So a lot of people thinking like, well, you work for them. Like, nah, they still work for you. Like, they work for me. If I'm paying you, they not paying me nothing. I'm paying you to put my movie on these platforms. I don't work for you. You work for me.
Okay, I got you.
That's number one.
So How, like, you get paid off the views, or like how do you get paid? Like, how does that work?
If it's on Amazon, you could actually people could actually purchase or rent the movie.
Okay.
And then Amazon to take 50%. And so whatever. So say if you rent it for $10, Amazon taking 50%. So we'll get $5, but your distributor gonna take 20% out to $5. So we'll get $4.
Okay. Now, if it's on a free platform, how does that work? 'Cause I know I didn't rent nothing. I was watching. I was watching myself on the big screen. I ain't paid nothing. So how does that work?
So the free platform they're ad based.
Okay.
They're ad based platforms, and you basically get paid by how many ads is run throughout your movie. And let's just say I'm gonna throw the number. I think this is a very close number. Say if somebody watch a movie from beginning to end, we might only get 20 cents for you watching it from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. But you got people all over the world
got millions of people watching it. 20 cents.
Them 20 cents add up. Like, just like the rappers, they complain about streaming and stuff like that. Right. But a lot of them living pretty good. Mm-hmm. So it worked the same way for the filmmakers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as long as people watching, man, you're going to get a little something.
So, like, Tubi is like, with these movies, what do you call them, urban movies, like, it's like really, really saturated right now, from what I've seen, from when y'all first started out. It's a lot of people trying to get into the game. Is the money that lucrative? Like, how much money can, like, a person make doing movies like this? Like, what are some of the top making movies in that genre?
The top
making, as far as dollars, like, what can, like, a producer make off of that type of genre?
All depends. Like, I don't know what's the top making movie of it, but it all depends on your film. You can.
Or have you heard of somebody making? Oh, this guy over here, he made $1 million, or he made $100,000.
I mean, you hear that.
You hear that.
I can say with us, with our distributor, what they do every quarter, they put out the quarterly reports, and everybody will see what everybody was making, how much money everybody was making, and it's supposed to just be shared among filmmakers.
Okay.
Somehow or another, the whole city seems to see this list now, and that's why so many people, I believe, even started making movies.
Oh,
they might have seen how one person was making some money, and they like, this is Detroit. We got to be honest, this is Detroit, and everybody is hustlers here. So they like, shit, if this guy could do it,
I can do it.
Why can't I?
I could do it. You know what I'm saying? Why I'm gonna throw my
Any ideas on how that list get leaked?
It's 100% a filmmaker showing people. Yeah. So if you're a filmmaker, and let's just throw out a wild number, and your movie made $5,000. I'm a filmmaker, and my movie made $50,000, and this is just hypothetical numbers. They like, how the hell did they make the 50? You know what I'm saying? So they sitting around with their woman, they sitting around with their homeboys with this list all day, like, his movie ain't all that, their movie ain't all that. How the hell did they get that 50? You know, so it start, it go from I'm showing my girl to I'm showing my homeboy, they in the basement getting high.
And I'm about to take it to Clay.
Yeah. And it just keep going. It's been people who's not even filmmakers tell us they seen our numbers, and I'm like, that's totally ludicrous. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's just people not not being businessmen, and that's another problem. A lot of us, I mean, I hate to say it, man, we are who we are from this city, and there's a lot of us just don't do right. We are who we are, so that's something that just happens. Yeah, you got to deal with it. Y'all come knocking at my door. I'm waiting for you.
Okay. Now, when you guys are doing casting, what's your process for that, and who all have you worked with? Anyone that any big names that we know?
Mano.
Okay.
Mano, my guy.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. 3D Nati from Louisiana.
All right.
Locally, Crystal the Dial. Locally.
Don't forget Jamal.
Oh yeah, Jamal Willard played Biggie
from Notorious.
Yeah, Notorious.
Yeah.
Which movie was he in?
Bad Girls 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we was the first person that brought Jamal to the city, and then like
what was that
after
like? How did you?
I reached out to him through the gram.
Oh,
I reached out to him through the gram. Yeah, but I'm not.
That is such a resourceful app.
I'm just on some serious. Like I'm not silly and I'm not playing. I'm a serious person, so I'm reaching out to you professionally. You should be able to hear it in the message that I'm not just no average Joe. You know, just
is it a contract that you're saying, or you?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, it's just a straight up text. You know, a DM or whatever you call it. It's just a straight up message. And then he reply. Then the more we talk numbers. And once we get a number locked down, I send the contract. We send the contract. He signed the contract. Once the contract is signed by, we got to send a deposit. Send a deposit. We locked in. We booking flights, and hotels, and everything else. Once I get that contract back, you know, we can
it's
book,
on.
we book
Yeah,
the
we
flights.
got action.
Yeah,
You locked in, huh?
yeah.
What's a day on the set like? So you've got your script, you've got your you got the cash, and you got your cast. What's a day on set like with shooting? How do we start?
You want to take that?
I mean, it's two different viewpoints though. Like I said, he's
Give me both.
okay. Well, on the directing, he's visualizing what he's doing with the DP.
Any storyboarding involved, or
That's what the DP and them do.
Okay.
Like they come to when they Blue Clover come, they already have a storyboard on their thing, and he's talking to them,
okay,
and they negotiating how the shots and everything on directing. On my behalf, it's like me basically relaxing and kicking it with the cast and the crew to get them comfortably, and we're getting ready and setting up how to go. But on his viewpoint, it get a little technical. It get a little technical on his viewpoint.
Okay.
Well, mine's is technical if I let it get there with me on it.
So give me like an example of a challenge from your side, and can you give me an example of a challenge from your side on a daily shoot?
For me, daily problem. Honestly, I don't think we have a daily problem.
Okay.
He's my assistant director, so I make his job. Like assistant director is really like the worst job on the film set.
Oh,
But not for him because I'm so involved. You know, I make it easier for him. So when I'm having a problem, when I got to call Howard, like that's when I'm having a problem. When I'm like, look, they not listening to me no more. Like they done heard my voice for 7 days straight,
True.
and people not moving as fast. And I'm like, hey, you gotta talk to them because they ain't listening to me.
You gotta get this
you
movie
know?
shot.
So it's another voice. So now it's
Gotcha.
another voice, and they, you know, because after 6, 7, 8 days, they're like, all right, they might be tuning me
well,
out.
like how many
Right.
times do you have to shoot a scene?
Oh man, it could be once or it could be 50.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That's
until
real.
they get it right. Yeah,
Like you just seen
It's-
people be like, take.
yeah.
Take.
Another take. That's real.
So
Until they get
sometimes
it
when
right,
like an actor might forget their lines and they just come up with something off the
Come
dome.
on, Clay. We talk about you.
You were just roll. You were just roll. You know what?
Did you forget your lines?
I wrote my whole.
Did you forget your lines?
It was one take, man. It was one take. It
One
was
take,
it was
Jay.
one take. They tried to call me back, but the money wasn't right.
Yeah, you ain't had nobody there. Facts.
So, like, far as promotions and things like that, how do you promote these type of movies?
Really, it's still everything is social media now. So we still put flyers out. They got the restaurant, so we'll drop a flyer and everybody, you get a potato and a flyer for a movie.
Okay.
So that's still, the older way, but it's still relevant. And social media ads.
Still doing
Social
premiere?
media
Do you
ads.
still do premieres at like the theater?
Yes,
You put it-
yeah,
okay,
we
okay.
still do the premiere.
Okay.
The premiere is more like it's for the cast and the crew and their family and friends to see the movie on the big screen. Like for us, premieres never really made no money, so they a
But
whole
it
lot
gets
of
the
work.
buzz going. Like, you
It-
know, you get, hey, did you see this? Yeah, well, I ain't see it. We saw it at the theater, you know, because I must have told like 50 people, you know, because it was in the theater, and
Right.
that right there to me was a big thing to see him with a movie in a theater. You know what I'm saying? So that word of mouth carries a long way as well.
Now that was really dope in 2016.
Okay.
It's 2023 now, and this is Detroit, and we like Black Hollywood for real.
Yeah, right.
So it's one in the theater every weekend now.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's changing now.
Yeah, it's not such a big deal no more.
Okay.
Put it like that.
But then, I don't know, because like these guys went to the movies last week, and I'm looking at them like, y'all going to the movies? So like, but
Together?
Well, they took that.
What did y'all go see? What did y'all go see?
Did y'all
Strays, man. Who would go see that?
Did y'all really go see Strays?
What did y'all
No,
go?
we took our girlfriends.
Okay. But
We all went to go see Strays, and it was funny.
it ain't nothing wrong with two tough fellas going to see the movies.
Uh-huh.
Man,
What
do it
movie
all
was
the
it?
time.
Strays, Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx
When they
as
was
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah, no, it was funny. Do you guys branch out into comedy as well, or is it all more?
We just shot a comedy.
Really?
Yes. Just got finished with it about a week ago.
We just wrapped on last Monday.
Now, are you guys are you both doing the writing for all of these different genres?
No, remember I said we started acquiring scripts.
Okay.
This was one of the scripts we acquired. Was called People Movers. It's like a hood Uber or a Hoob Lyft.
This already
Hood
sounds
Lyft.
funny. This already
Hood.
sounds
So
funny.
you are. I don't know if y'all ever or ever did Lyft or anything
Yeah.
like that. But if you know anybody who have, you had to have heard the stories of what they deal with
Every
being
day.
an Uber driver, and it's crazy. So the movie is based on a guy who becomes a Lyft driver, or Uber driver, and all the crazy stuff that happens while he's driving. And something super crazy happens. He ends up getting accused for a murder that he just dropped somebody else off.
Really?
Yeah. So the news see him as an accomplice. Put it
That's
like
that
that. Being an
twist.
accomplice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you
Yeah.
guys what
Yeah.
makes you choose the script. To,
Yeah, what makes it? What makes
but
a good
something
script?
like that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could.
I can say I was nervous. So the guy who wrote the script is Jerome Montgomery. He was in he was in our movie A Love Story from the Streets, and he pulled me to the side and was like, "Yo, I was in a acting and writing class, in a script writing class, and I won the best script." And I'm like, let's bring it. Let's see what it got. So we read it. I read it, and I was like, we made a comedy before, which we thought was pretty funny, called The Ground, but it didn't bring as much money back. So we like, man, we know what we do. We do Girls and Guns, and that has worked for us, over countless of films. It worked. So taking on another comedy, I was a little hesitant, but I couldn't get it out my head. So it was one of those things like, man, I hate to pass on it. And then somebody else, another local film company, make it, and bang,
blow
you know
up.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I'm
right.
like, I had it in my hand. So we jumped out there. And we just wrapped on it this past Monday. It's called People Movers, starring Xavier Martin. We got, I don't know if y'all familiar with Jada Fade, real popular internet, social media personality. She a comedian. Who else in there? Might got a name that people might know. For sure, Jada Fade. Man, it's at a blank. I got People Movers on my head so much.
Where can we watch it? When does it drop?
We literally just got through shooting it, so it's not edited. It's gonna be in 2024.
So y'all stack up movies. Y'all just
man, we
keep
got,
shooting, and you got movies like already stored in your file, ready to locked and loaded.
We got 2 movies, like some bomb joints, just chilling. People ain't even seeing. Like, just I'm in going back and forth with BET right now with one of our films, trying to see if we could get that jump straight to BET instead of Tubi. And again, there's nothing wrong with Tubi, but if somebody gonna cut us a check, you know what I'm saying,
That's
up front, give me the money up front, we'll get it back in a year or so. I'm with that. We with that too. So just the fact that we have dialogue with BET is dope.
That is.
How many people could say that?
Nah, I talked to
I just sent that email before I got here, so that's kind of dope.
And you are fully respecting the return.
Gonna get it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
gonna get it. Yeah.
I always tell these guys, I am an aspiring actor. If I wanted to, I tell them all the time, if I wanted to become a Tubi actor or any type of actor, how do I get in touch with you guys? And what's the process after I express my complete commitment to this project that you guys got going on? Well,
just say if somebody just like right now, somebody, because we get them all.
It is right
all
now.
the time.
It's me.
Yeah. So what I usually
right now.
say is, you got to follow us on the gram or Facebook or something like that, and you'll know when we having casting calls and auditions.
How do I do that?
Just follow Urban Cineplex or Will Lewis III on Instagram. It's a whole lot easier. Yeah.
Will Lewis III on
Will,
Instagram.
yeah,
Y'all heard
with
that?
one L. WILLEWIS. Will with one L. Will Lewis III. Follow Will Lewis III. Follow me on Instagram. And we'll post about it when we're about to have auditions and casting calls and stuff like that.
I would like to know when the lead casting call is happening.
It's not a such thing as a lead.
There is no
casting
such
call.
thing. Okay,
Yeah.
see, thank you.
That don't exist.
Yeah, Howard, and I'm willing to renegotiate that contract. You know, y'all can get me back.
It
on.
will.
So,
Sweet.
like, what's some of the like future plans? What y'all got going on? Like,
Keep working.
keep working. Y'all just
Keep
gonna keep
working,
doing
like-
movie after movie till you get that big break and have the next Friday out.
That's coming. Like, it might not be the next Friday. It might just be something different, but that's coming. Like, real close. Like, the two movies that we got locked and loaded, I think them in already. We just ain't put them out for the world to see yet.
Okay.
Like, even People Mover gonna be a banger. Like, we bettered our craft. Like, from Motor City Living in 2015,
16?
2016.
to now, the work is 20 times better. Like,
Now you wrote Motor City Living, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first movie you wrote.
yeah, yeah.
What you mean,
worked.
man? I watched
Hey,
that
listen,
last night. It was
I'm
good.
not listen.
It's a good movie.
I'm not
Good
knocking
movie.
the movie.
But you see the progression and how
exactly
far you got.
from watching it to the first movie I ever wrote and did to now. I'm not only gonna sit up and lie and say I don't cringe. Like, oh, but I knew what it was back then.
Okay.
Like, for it to be written, and then it fit for that era and that time right then and there.
Okay.
Like, if I wouldn't just like you said, the script then that we just try to give it to him. Like, no, we better than this one.
Yeah.
That's like, I wouldn't put Motor City Living out the way it was now as is.
I got you. So,
You know what I'm saying?
So let's get a listeners a list of the movies so they can go check them out on Tubi. So if y'all could let the listeners know again what's some of the movies that they can go check out.
The Bad Girls, BAG, like get the bag. The Bad Girls 1 and 2, Switch, Motor City Living, The Gram with DAGRAM. That's the first comedy we did. The Gram, The Life, Sex, Drugs, and Violence, and A Love Story from the Streets.
Love Story from the Street. Because
Yes.
I was trying to find some movies last night. I couldn't find The Bad Girl. I was spelling it wrong. So
You was calling it BAD.
yeah.
That's why
It took me a
that's why I
while, but
spelled it out.
I found it. I found it. Yeah. So it was very entertaining, very
Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
And I enjoyed it.
The Bad Girls is the one that put us on. Like, that's gonna always hold a special place. Like, I think it dropped during COVID, and I got a story about the Bad Girls. Like, the Bad Girls was the first time we actually put some real money into a movie.
Okay.
So let's just throw the number out. Like, we put like 55,000 into it, and I was borrowing and scratching and scraping to get this 55,000 together. But we got it together. And I'm telling everybody, I'm gonna give you your money back plus 20%, plus this and that. And I'm saying this because I'm confident in myself, but it's still just I'm hoping, And when we got that first check, it was way more than the 55.
Wow.
Man. And I was so I cried because it was like
you still
You
getting
took a chance, and you
yeah,
and you
and it
still
worked.
you still getting you still make
Yes.
money residuals
Yes.
off of that all that movie.
Yes,
all the
yes, off of
movies.
Bad Girls.
Yeah. So how can I be an investor?
$5,000.
$5,000 all it
We
take.
asking.
What, and how long?
5 Gs,
How
yeah.
long it take for me?
5 Gs.
5 Gs, and what's the typical return on the money?
We can't say that because an investment is
Typical,
it's-
like just
yeah.
like if you took it like
if we put the paperwork in front of you right now, it'd be if you invest $5,000, that would guarantee you a share of that movie. So if the movie is 50,000, it'll be 10 shares. So you'll get 1 share. So we'll say for that $5,000, we want to give you your 20% of the 5,000 back. So you'll get 6,000. That's your 5 plus 20%. It's 1,000.
Okay.
So everything after that, once you got your 20%, once all investors got their 20% back, then whatever the movie make after that, 50% go to the production company, which will be us, and 50% will go to the investors. That 50%, all the investors split, is just depending on how many shares you have. Okay. So,
and all that's public.
I mean, we put it out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like if you wanted to invest, I could send you the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how they do it in Hollywood. If anybody look it up, that's the exact same way they do it in Hollywood.
Okay, so
that's how we found out how to do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hollywood on strike, right? They still
Yeah,
on strike?
yeah.
Y'all getting all the money now.
I mean, where put it like this, it still is so much content out there to where I think that might be the reason BET is even listening. You know what I'm saying? They like where they gonna get the content from. So they need some new fresh content. Yes. Yeah.
What's like a movie that you thought was going to do really, really well but didn't? And do you know why? Or what's a movie that you didn't think was going to do well but completely blew your mind? Like
one of our films or
one of
somebody
yours?
else's
No,
film?
yours.
I thought the comedy The Grand would do better. To be honest, like it was funny. It was hilarious. Had all the Detroit local up and coming comedians in it. Mike Larry.
Mike Larry was in it?
Yeah, Josh Adams, Melanie Hurd.
Mike Larry and Josh Adams was in it, and it
Melanie
didn't do good. They're
Hurd.
both
Bro,
hilarious.
I'm telling you.
They're both hilarious.
Man,
They slipping. They slipping on
They
that
don't
movie.
know. They don't know, bro. I'm telling you.
like it's hilarious.
Watch,
Like,
No, it's
it's gonna
fun,
shoot
dude.
up because it's still out there. That's
That's
one
what's
good
up.
thing
Yeah.
about it is you never know when it might blow. It might
Right.
just take off.
It might at any time.
Yeah.
but that was it. Like that was the one I thought I was like,
I would have bet my money on that too. I don't know.
and it was funny. Like it was literally
movie.
funny.
Advertisement and everything, you guys like had it out there, threw it out there,
Everything we did to all our movies.
For all same
the same thing. We
yeah.
didn't like everything.
and it just
we
didn't
did.
catch.
Yeah.
Didn't catch. Yeah.
What's it on now? I want to watch
It's on
it.
Tubi. It's on,
Okay.
Check it out on Tubi.
I'm
Called
watching that
Doug Graham.
tonight.
You
That
familiar
does-
with Ebony Tates? She's a local actress that's doing pretty good right now. She was in it. Shelby Leah. I don't know how much y'all watch Tubi movies, but Shelby Leah is a real popular actress. They're both in it. Daphne Springs. I don't know if y'all familiar with Daphne. She's a LA comedian. She's from Detroit, but she's a LA because she's in LA now. She did stuff with Cedric the Entertainer. Like, it's a good movie. It just didn't hit, you know.
It just didn't take
And that
off.
what kind of scared me from doing the people movers. But, you know, it's like, man, we just got to take a chance again. Yeah. But check it out. It's funny. It's funny. So for a movie that did better than I expected, that's still doing well now, I always like to say Switch. It's my favorite movie out of all the movies we've done. That's my favorite movie. And like consistently, like, you know, whenever payday come around, it's still consistent.
Still racking in.
Yeah, and I'm shocked. I'm like,
Is that the
man,
top
we made
selling-
this in 2016.
Is that the top selling
No,
movie? What's
it's
the
not.
top selling? What's the top?
Bad Girls.
Bad Girls.
Yeah.
One
Bad
or
Girls.
two?
The first one.
The first one. Okay.
Yeah, that was a whole nother level.
All right.
Yeah. But Switch, that's like my favorite movie, and it just trips me out, you know. And I'll be like, we made this in 2016, you know, with like a $8,000 budget, and it's still killing it. Yeah. So I'm geek about that. Yeah.
We had a guest here last week. I think you know him. And recently finding out that you were in the movie was
Man,
yeah. Can I finish it?
you had to see that movie.
Y'all
man.
not gonna let me. I know you was in it. So is there anyone else that I know that may be in
Frasier.
another? There it is.
Frazier and Clay was in the same
Y'all
movie.
both was in the movie.
Yeah,
Y'all both are actors.
Yeah.
Our guest last week was also an actor as well.
Yes.
We've had two actors on this show.
Yeah.
That's man.
Hey, and Frage killed it,
Yeah.
though.
Yes,
Like,
go
Frage
home.
killed
Go
it.
home to your
Right.
kids.
Frazier killed it. Frazier killed it, man. He killed it.
Yeah, so you know he kicked that door open. He like
Oh, man, I ain't seen it in so long. He kicked that door open.
he
Yes.
kicked that door. His foot went up about 6 inches.
Do y'all remember? Do y'all remember when we were shooting it and he fell out the van?
Yeah,
What?
It was all type
man,
of
come on, man. It was wild.
All
It
type
was
of
wild.
wildness,
He
yeah.
jumped out the Ray van before his Ray van stopped and he fell.
Yeah,
Remember?
they fell out the van. Yeah, those some good times.
That was cool. So,
You know, anytime y'all want to come shoot a scene here, you know, if anybody get killed, murdered or whatever, and they need some obituaries and something like that. Shirts.
No doubt.
Tell them come on through. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
You know.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Clay and the guys. We got our
You know, we
Cineplex
gotta
shirts.
put
Thank
y'all
you.
together.
Yeah,
I had some
together.
hats ready for you too, but I didn't get them ready. We changed the shirts, but I got you. I got you.
We appreciate
This is
that,
beautiful.
man. I need a closet full of them, man.
And don't forget your Lion shirt that you just purchased.
Y'all see this back here?
Stop playing with us. It's all a dog around this mud.
Y'all see this?
0-5.
Clay did this.
All dog.
Clay did this.
That's a
Starting
dope shirt.
tomorrow, this is gonna mean something when we run through Kansas City tomorrow.
Do we still got that bet? Oh, we live. You still want to bet me?
I never betted Clay. I never.
All right, let's go Lions. Let's go Lions.
Let's go Lions. I'll give it up for him. I'll give it up for him.
Hey, it was a pleasure having y'all here.
Man, thank you for inviting us, man.
so much,
That's what's
man.
up, man. That's what's up. This it, man. This is too quick, man.
Everybody
Y'all
wanna go-
didn't even get into
We
it.
got
We're
mad
gonna
with
gritty,
man.
man.
Part 2, we gonna have y'all back
Right, man,
once Switch blow up
Right.
and this new movie come out, and let people know how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, one more time, give us the Instagrams of how we can get in touch with you guys, please.
Howard Patterson on Facebook and Urban Cineplex Film on Instagram.
Instagram, Will Lewis III. That's Will with one L, WIL. Will Lewis III on Instagram and Willie Will on Facebook. I think that's pretty much it. I think that's the majority.
And when is that next movie drop? The one about the driver?
People Movies, the comedy,
Movies?
that's going to be like 2024.
Okay.
But make sure you check out The Love Story from the Streets. That's doing really well. That's out now. And our next film that we actually was in discussion with BET about, it's called Captured, written by Carmen Michelle. She was one of the bad girls. So that was like the first film we did acquire was Captured. So that's shot. That's looking good. And we got a film called Rose Gold that we should be having a premiere literally in a couple months. Starring Crystal the Doll, Kiva, Leah Envy, Denzel Danger.
Washington.
No, not Denzel Washington. Denzel Danger. He's
I try to make my voice
great
go up high.
actor.
Denzel?
Do it. Denzel Washington.
Right. So we got some stuff in the cut. We got some stuff in the cut that we proud of.
We
Just
will all
gonna
be
keep
looking out
grinding.
for it,
Just
man.
gonna keep
We're gonna be
grinding.
looking out for that. Sure, man.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
You are listening to CYPT Podcast. You are listening to CYPT Podcast. You are listening to CYPT Podcast. CYPT Podcast. CYPT Podcast. You are listening.